And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just terrible.
A backing board.
I don't know how handy you are. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players. Today we're going to be talking dark horse teams for the NFL. We've got a lot that we're going to break down in that segment. Talk a little more about the Terry McLaurin situation. There's an interesting update there. But I came across this rabbit hole on Twitter, Sean, that basically was exclaiming that when you get to the age of 30, you should just be chasing as many side quests as possible. Like, you should be getting certified in as many random things as you can possibly think of. And I was conjuring up what would be hilarious to be able to say, hey, I'm certified in this, but also maybe kind of useful, not just for dipshittedness of having a certification to do nothing, but for the memes. What I tasked you with coming up with something here. What is the first thing that you came up with?
Professionally, I'd like to be certified in SAG so I can get all the writers and all the screeners for the movies that are coming up. With? That'd be cool. That'd be a cool thing to have.
Is there a certification for that, or is that just a?
The last that I remember from it is that you have to write something that goes onto broadcast air, and then you can apply to be in SAG, and then they will send you, I guess, all the SAG stuff. And that would be awesome if you were just having movies delivered to you every month. But I know it's more than that, and I doubt it works like that anymore. But that would be cool for me. I think it'd be sick to go to a cool bartender school and then go work at a dive bar that only serves Michelob's and Busch Lights. and if somebody tried to come in here and dunk on you and say, oh, well, this is just a dive, I'm looking for a real cocktail.
This requires a lot of layers to do that. That requires a lot of extra steps.
It's more about having the ability to do whatever the hell I want. Like, if I'm going to get certified in something, I want to be able to do whatever I want in that field and not just be, working the mainstay level. Like, I want to just be like, here's my cert. I'm going to do what I want. And if someone's coming up to check me on it, I can pull out this qualification or this training and then flex on them.
I mean, I don't mind that. I think that requires, it requires hoping that you can be an asshole to somebody if they tried to think that you had no skill and you were just some jerk off who was serving Coors Lights all day. I had 2 that my head went to immediately. Apparently you can get a ham radio license. Like, you can get certified in ham radio usage. Like, that one seems useful. Not useful, but cool.
You think so?
Yeah, like if I'm... I don't know what context I would need it in, but to be able to say that I've got a ham radio certification, I think that would be pretty sick.
For talk radio listeners, Dr. Steve, if you are a old school talk radio listener, has his ham radio license, and he goes to ham radio events. And every time he posts about it, he says it's the worst part of my life. like it is the corniest, most loser shit you could imagine.
It sounds great.
And the picture he posts is just him in a field with a big ass ham radio on a table. Like, this is what I'm doing with my Saturday. Country ass Dr. Steve.
So is it quite literally corny, as in he's in a cornfield?
I don't.
Is that what the joke is? I mean, I would do that for the joke. I would absolutely do that for that
he's
joke.
Saying, this is so lame, and I'm so ashamed of it, but it's something that I do. But Dr. Steve, I think, is in his 60s, if not 70s now.
But I can't help but think that it's rare.
Uh-huh.
The bartender thing is the one that everyone goes to. Is like, oh yeah, I'd like to be able to make cool drinks. Oh, I feel like everyone turns to that. You're using it for weaponized purposes to be an asshole, to be like, oh, I bet you think that I can't make this old fashioned really expertly with a blowtorch.
That'd be nice.
You want to be able to dunk on people.
Yeah, a little smoked bourbon. I mean, there's a corny one that I wrote down that's even more like
what
irritating bro thing to say in his 30s, but build a car engine and lose 20K in the process of trying to do it.
Where does the losing 20K
just for all the tools that you don't have, everything, all the extra help that you'd need, you're buying parts, you'd have no clue. I feel like it would be a super...
This one I support. I think that this one's not talked about enough.
This one's really an intense endeavor. You have to have like big engine jacks to be able to lift it and work on it. But that's something that's always intrigued me. Like if mechanics always didn't look like the most miserable people on earth that didn't get paid very much and seemed like they just work on the most tedious, unrewarding services possible, mechanic would be awesome. But I've seen that life. I know people in that life. It's no fun.
Yeah, you're kind of signing up to be because you're not doing it to become a mechanic. You're doing it to say that you could be a mechanic,
Right? But that's being a mechanic is badass. Like you
sure.
Because what do you do what do you do if you break down on the side of the road? You open up the hood and you might not even open up the hood. I might not even open up the hood if it starts smoking. What am I going to do? Go up there, pop it open, have something explode, scald my face off? I have no clue what's going on down there, what I'd be looking at. If I had some mechanic training, I'd kind of feel like the king of the highway if I'm pulling over and I could rectify it and get myself to a gas station.
Well, I would argue being able to know about how engines work, it allows for you to backseat drive everybody and mansplain everything to everyone.
Just
like
be a
to
real
not
jerk
actually be
about cars.
actionable, like not to be actionable like, whatsoever. Like somebody's telling you that their car's messed up and they're like telling you about it. You can sit there and break down the hell out of it. But when they ask you to do it, you tell them that you do not have the resources or the tools to do so. It's kind of like I like the capability of what you've pitched here, or unintentionally pitched here, where you basically have the most useless skill possible.
Yeah,
because you can't actually applicably use it for anything. You can just do it.
Fixing cars?
Well, fixing engines specifically.
Yeah. Fixing engines,
having it and then not actually being able to do anything about it.
If you're stranded, I mean, you got to be at a shop. You have to have all the equipment with you. And then I feel like you just have a little bit of a manliness card that you could play on any dude anywhere that isn't a mechanic.
Sure. My head immediately went to, and I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. I mean, forklift certifications, the immediate one. Again, useless. Like you're not going to need to be able to use a forklift in any setting whatsoever. But to be able to whip out my forklift certification, that seems sick. I even went as far as I started texting my brother who works construction. I was like, hey, don't ask why I'm asking you this. How long and expensive would it be for me to get a forklift certification? He says it's a couple weeks, and apparently most of the time, the construction company that you're working for pays for you to get certified. So I'd have to go out of pocket. I'm sure that it's like a couple $1,000s. But part of me wonders if I'm like 30, I'm doing well enough, I've got a couple $1,000s to spend. Why would I do that spend that money on going on vacation?
When are you going to
spend it on a forklift certification?
So basically you're paying that money to have a card in your pocket that says, I could do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that for like,
or like, what if you get drunk and there's a forklift and you see one? And
you're not that would go directly against the certification of operating heavy machinery while inebriated, and you could thereby lose your certification.
All right. The redacted.
You know nothing about the trades.
What if I'm out and about?
Your first was I want to spin around and do wheelies drunk in a forklift. You need to be away from that.
Redacted. I am redacting that part. Pretend you didn't hear that part. What if though it's more so I'm out and about and I see an unsupervised forklift?
Yeah.
Is that, if I'm sober, is that not allowed? Can I just start dicking around with an unsupervised forklift?
Technically no, but I feel like if there was a forklift needed emergency and like say there was a kid underneath a pallet getting crushed and nobody had a forklift certificate, is anybody certified? And then you could set up here, get in it, and pull it up and save the kid's life. Then no one's gonna get mad at you.
I think that one would have to be at the
When's
top.
the last time you've seen a forklift in nature? When's the
That's
last
a tremendous
time?
question.
It comes up rarely. I think like a motorcycle, having a motorcycle license and taking the training and course for that, just to be able to know how to do it, I think that's kind of important. While it's a death trap and anyone driving motorcycles, if you have like family and such, is inherently selfish, in my opinion, no matter how great the thrill and how cool the bikes are. I think it's good to have that in your back pocket.
But I feel like everyone who rides a motorcycle is an asshole.
That's true, but it's different. Like I wouldn't want to get like a big, fat man Harley. I'd like that. Like there's a nice.
What would you ain't fitting on a
dude? But when we
on
walk
a Kawasaki, you're not getting on one of those.
Yeah, but there's a beautiful Ducati that we walk by when we're going into the city.
Getting on that.
I could get on that. I could bop around on that thing. I'd cause hell.
Bop around on
That
you'd bop it through the ground. I don't think that's
that
holding
dude, me
your
and that
weight.
Ducati would be one. We'd become one.
You'd have to get on one of those big backseat Harleys.
I'm not getting a 3-wheel trike. That ain't happening because you've already kind of defeated the whole purpose of getting a motorcycle.
What about like a crop advising certification?
That almost feels like playing God. And that feels like it's too much power to say these crops are fit and clear for human consumption. Like that's a little too much.
Yeah, but
power
you're not going around dishing out actual like feedback on crops. You would just have the certificate.
So I'm just an analyst.
We're talking
I'm
about
a studio analyst.
Yeah, you're
for crops.
Yes, we're talking about acquiring things that you don't need to be going out and using every single day. Like we're talking about. I almost lean on the side of acquiring things that you're not going to use, that you're just not going to use.
I know how little time you have, and that's why it's crazy to me to think of you sinking hours into something. Like,
well, I've already sunk hours into getting better at golf. Like I could just, dispense that time elsewhere. I would argue that I've gotten much better. It's in the back of the net of the range yesterday on my drives.
Your driving has got better.
I can't chip.
Have you worked any chip?
No. I can't find a range that's got open chipping.
The East Orange, West Orange, whatever the one
East Orange,
yeah. You could chip. You could chip all day there, pal. You could chip and putt all day. Get better. $30 and you get better at chipping in 2 hours right there. Boater certification. Like I should get my boating license.
Yeah, I saw there was a steamboat certification that you apparently can get.
That would be riding around in a big ass steamboat. That'd be sick. One thing I'm pissed off about always, though, is fishing licenses. Is having to go state by state whenever I'm doing fishing and buying all that.
Don't give me a practical one. Don't give me one that you actually...
I wish there was less. But also, if more people knew how to treat the waterways, then we wouldn't have issues like this. And I'd be able to just walk into somewhere, rod and reel in hand, and slay for hours.
What about bear identification certifications?
I already got that.
You got that? You can identify bears?
I just know the bears.
You know the bears?
I know.
There's no...
Do I need a paper to prove that? We got like 5, and then we got like 30 variants. I know there's more than that. I know, but all the ones...
It sounds like you don't know your bears.
All the ones that we need to know about...
It sounds like you're just broadly assuming that you do know bears.
You got the brown bear, got the grizzly bear, polar bear. Those stay in the cold. You got the black bear, smaller but vicious. You have the Kodiak bear.
We could start a bear identification podcast.
You have the golden bear.
It's just an hour. It's kind of like that. Do you know that cutaway clip of Peter?
Naming hats.
Naming hats podcast. It's just listing off. It's an audio only podcast where we pull up pictures of bears and
You got Bear Bryant. And them's all the bears.
I'm telling you, audio only.
Yeah.
Audio only, no video. And we just put up pictures of bears and we sit there and we try to identify.
So the pictures of bears are just for us if it's audio only. So they don't know. They don't know necessarily whether or not we're looking at the golden sun bear.
Although I'm sure this would play on, if we did a weekly 2-hour-long bear identification, it would play really well on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. That actually wouldn't be bad.
Clips of us identifying bears, just rapid fire.
I don't even think for TikTok we need to identify. I think we could just look into a camera and say the bear. No answer in hand. And it would be bear. That's a bear.
That's a bear. It's a good.
That is not a bear.
A funny hat. No, it's not a bear. It's a dog. Almost got us, but that's a dog.
That's a dire wolf from a distance. That is not a bear. Do you see that video of that big ass wolf? People thought it was a bear.
Yes, I did. I did
Jesus
see that.
Christ.
Wait, there was one other one that I had on here, and I'm completely forgetting.
After bear identifier.
Well, what about this one's kind of lame and dumb. How useful would it be to be a notary?
I don't know. I think I know somebody that just became a notary, like in their or a mediator also. Like
mediator would be sick.
To become a mediator or
guys,
notary.
Like people are getting an argument in a bar, like guys, I'm a certified mediator. We can work through this.
I don't know what that is. The notaries always freak me out because when I was a kid, my granddad died, and I had to sit in like my dining room with my parents and a notary and like sign papers, but I had no clue what I was signing or if I'm getting anything.
So you were freaked out. You thought that he was scamming you?
Notary man. There was a dude in my house wearing a suit one day. I was 10 years old. I'm like, who's this guy?
So we can become notaries to go around scamming 10-year-olds that are getting their grandfather's inheritance.
My name's on some paper. I don't necessarily know.
I think we just invented a new form of business.
That dude was scary as hell.
Why was he scary?
He just was.
Did you get anything?
I know. I have no idea.
That guy took all your shit.
He might have, but he was sitting
that guy
there.
took all your money.
He had a big ink pen. He was just as scary as I think I met with like a CIA guy. I told you about that meeting.
No, why did you meet with the CIA?
So I was meeting with a CIA guy for clearance for somebody that I knew because he was like applying for a job in like the security sector or something, and met up with this dude at a library. Deep voice, scary suit.
Oh wait, you did
rattling questions.
You did tell me. This was more recent.
Yeah, like these people, like getting that certification just to intimidate those that know somebody that's getting a job. That's weird. I don't know if I'd want that, but walking around that type of power, that'd be interesting.
What? Wait, I just had one more. Oh, pyrotechnician certification.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I don't know what that takes.
That'd be sick. But then where does that leave you eventually? Because every 4th of July, you're the guy, right? You're the guy.
So this is a piece of when I was visiting my girlfriend and her parents for the 4th. They asked me like, "Oh, what did you guys used to do growing up for the 4th?" We don't do this anymore. Piece of lore that I don't think that you knew. Back in since like I don't know, I think when I was in like 6th grade up until the end of high school, we'd pick one weekend and we would drive to Pennsylvania. It's not legal to light off fireworks in New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
but me, my dad, and my brother would drive to go to like the big
the Phantom fireworks.
Yeah, like the big firework warehouse, and we would buy like over $1,000 worth of
good for you
fireworks,
guys.
And we would light them off in the middle of the street.
Nice,
like a bunch of dirt bags.
We had a neighbor that did that my entire life. Every 4th of July, our across the street neighbor. I did the same thing.
We were that neighbor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys had that. You guys were cool like that?
Yes, we used to do that.
Everyone's like, oh, you guys must have been like cul-de-sac heroes.
Yeah, we usually had a pretty big accumulation of people that piled up for that. So
wow.
Well, the cops would usually show up. Somebody would complain. The
Sure.
cops would usually show up. So do you think if you have that pyrotechnician certification that you could be like, hey, I'm certified to be doing this?
I don't think it clears state laws without a previous like warrant to be able to do so.
That's dumb.
I don't believe so. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know a guy that sets off fireworks at the Mount Vernon estate in Virginia on the Potomac. And it's like their massive fireworks show. Like,
Is it legal in Virginia?
No. Same as Jersey. Like you can't do it, but like Mount Vernon has a huge display. Like you can go to Belvoir, you can go to all these areas on the water and watch these fireworks. It's like a 15-20 minute ordeal. It's a good show. It's pretty good. And he was telling me, yeah, I'm part of the crew that goes off. He must have that certification to be lighting off this many high octane fireworks. I'll ask him how long it took to get that. How strenuous it may be.
We gotta figure that out. We could be setting them off the roof of the building.
Pyrotechnics would be cool. CDL. I don't need a CDL. I'm never going to be driving long distance.
Everyone's recommending the CDL one and like, oh, that'd be so cool. I'm like, is it really? I don't know many people that we have a ton of former teammates who drive trucks. None of them are excited about it. They all complain about it. They all hate it.
Kev looks like he has fun cleaning it up with the shiny truck with the chrome. You know when he does those little boomerangs of the clean ass truck. I think he takes pride in his work.
I don't keep up with any of.
Nice, good teammate right there. That's a good.
Do you keep up with his truck driving?
I'm not asking him about it, but I'm watching all the stuff he's doing. I'm staying as plugged in as I can be without asking how's it like driving a truck, driving around gravel.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I honestly, that's one of those jobs where I'm not going around asking. It's like asking, like, hey, do you like driving Uber for a living?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Also, I already did that when I was landscaping right in at the end of high school, early college. I was driving those trucks. I shouldn't have been. I just had, had a license. I'm driving a massive truck with a bunch of like payload in the back, of mulch or equipment, whatever. Like, oh well,
trusted your big
Sean,
dumbass.
Yeah, Sean, we don't have any other guys that have licenses, so you're gonna have to drive this back to camp. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
You know, you didn't crash. Nothing.
No, shaking the whole way. It was a little scary. It was scary.
I would have been driving behind you an inch from your bumper.
You know how much anxiety. Well, you know what? I wouldn't even seen you. I wouldn't even know if you were back there. I'd be like, here's the thing. Also, for the regular car drivers, like we think about like one thing, and that's destination and how to get there fastest and safest. Like that's what regular car drivers do. What I'm doing, I didn't even realize till I got back to home base that I'm like, I didn't look at one power line. I didn't look at one thing that was like overhead that could have clipped stuff off my truck. Like I took nothing into account.
It still boggles my. Okay, we're getting real deep into the weeds here. It boggles my mind that U-Hauls are legally a thing, that you can just rent a giant box truck that without any ramification certificate, none of that stuff. I don't know. That makes no sense to me. We're going to get to the hack bag later. 201-834-4308. I know that we've got a pocket of listeners that are our age, mid to late 20s to their late 30s. That's like most of our listening demographic. I want you guys to call in and tell us a certification, something random that we should pursue. Because we got a couple years to figure this out. We got 3 more years, a little less than 3 years to figure out what we should start planning to get certified in when we hit 30. We need recommendations. Whoever can come up with something creative that was not mentioned today, we want it. Do we have any voicemails, by the way?
Yeah, we got a voicemail. I'd love to. I hate that I gave that up this early in the show. I'd also like to hear what listener certifications that they have. Like, I think Dustin Helton has to have certifications for all the money that he makes.
And also, I mean, I would hope that he's certified in that planer.
The planer. Like, I want to know. I want to know if there's a planer certification. This is something that fascinates me.
Great point.
So if you hold a certification, call in and brag about it. Take some pride in your cert, or tweet us at Hack City Pod on Twitter. Either or.
By the way, we will get back to this. Is kind of like not an announcement. If you've been watching the show on the College Channel, we will no longer be going live in a couple of weeks doing NFL shows on the College Channel. We will pick back up and start doing college content very soon. Most likely when Sean is back from his brief vacation. We'll probably tape a couple things beforehand and release them. But that is just a heads up that we're probably going to stop doing these live shows. If you want to hear the NFL live shows, go subscribe to Hack City NFL. And if you haven't done so already, I know that there's a crap load of you that have not. Go sub, because they're now 2 different channels. We had too many people that were confused and also didn't want to listen to one thing and wanted to listen to the other. So we separated them. We've had really good feedback and listenership on the NFL channel. We've had the obvious already excited fan base on the college side. The FCS stuff is coming back really soon as well. We're already doing our planning for content for that. So stay tuned. We also are going to start pitching where we're going to be doing the trip. We'll probably tape that this week, the first FCS episode, put that out in the next couple of weeks. Probably going to end up at South Dakota State again.
I think they have to be on another. It can't just be South Dakota State and then another school, South Dakota State, another school. I think we have to keep on spacing them out for South Dakota State. Because they're just going to win again. Like, they're just going to be. So
they're going to get so upset if we do that to them. I do kind of want to go back.
I love going back. Long ass drive, small ass airport. Scary.
That is true.
Scary.
I want to go to that Chinese restaurant that had the plastic windows. You know the one I'm talking about?
There was.
We drove past that you wouldn't stop at.
Yeah, correct. There was a lot of areas that I was shocked at last time that I was there. We took a different route into it's a little different flying in from Minneapolis and doing the long country drive for driving into or flying into Sioux Falls, and you're in Sioux Falls and you got to learn about Sioux Falls. A little dicey. Yeah,
well, we're gonna talk through that this week. All right, we got NFL news though that we want to talk about. We have an update with Terry McLaurin. This is a very unexpected update for what's happening with the Terry McLaurin situation. I guess we should anticipate that they don't want to get rid of Terry McLaurin. But with the way that the Commanders are moving and the way that they are being very stingy and cheap about this negotiation with Terry McLaurin, it was surprising that I found an article today that the Commanders are emphasizing that they have no intention to trade him, which ultimately I think makes this situation far more tense. Jeremy Fowler, who has been the offseason scoop king, who's just been on every single iteration of SportsCenter dropping these nuggets, he said, Terry McLaurin, so he's frustrated. You heard him this week talking about how there's no deal. He would like progress being made. There hasn't been. I'm told that's only scratching the surface of the issue here because the wide receiver market has jumped into that $30 million range. My sense is McLaurin feels Washington hasn't really been willing to acknowledge that. So if they're not, it's almost like he's taken a pay decrease because he's a year from free agency. So something So something's going to have to give. Cooler heads should prevail. They want McLaurin there. They're not trading McLaurin. That was made clear to me from a source of the team. So that really, really makes this messier because they might make him stick around unhappy this year and then just walk into free agency.
Yeah, I there's a lot of sourcing right now with Terry. He's kind of the biggest story circulating,
Including himself.
Yeah, and there's people saying, "Oh, we expect it to happen Monday, where he'll get the deal signed." That's so speculative. I think anybody that calls their shot with a date on when a player will sign, it's really. I think it hurts the entire argument of what you're trying to say or the point you're trying to make. Others are reporting, like Lewis Jr. saying, "Yeah, he'll be out on the football field in training camp, and that they'll get something done before training camp." They need to pay Terry. Acknowledge that $30 million is now the standard for an elite wide receiver one in the NFL. And if you have one, you got to hold on to it. And Terry McLaurin is one of these dudes that you just need to take care of. Why would you create an issue when it's not there? You literally broke the sink. You broke the sink, and now you're looking at, oh, well, now we got to fix it somehow. You didn't need to. Sink was going good. You just need to put a little more money down the sink. Now it's broken, and you can't get worse before camp, or else I think it's not a team that falls off the rails, but it's not a team that can survive after 1 year of success and just rise above. They don't have that track record to be able to do so.
The thing that troubles me with this and that annoys me with this, though, is just like pick a lane. Pick the lane that you want to live in. You have to acknowledge that if you're not going to give him this big deal over the $30 million number, which he should be closer to 35. I was kind of surprised that this was framed as in that $30 million range was the exact quote from Fowler. I could imagine that they're going to try and ask for more with how consistent he's been. We've talked about this a million times over. But if you're putting up this much of a fight about paying him, maybe there is issues with the length of the deal. Maybe there's all these like little minutia nuances to it that are also holding it up. If you're not going to relent, you need to be willing to move on from him. Because if he's not going to play this year, if he's not going to show up to camp, if he's not going to be an active and eager participant, why are you, one, making him suffer after he's done so much for your franchise?
Yeah.
And two, you're going to create a distraction and an unnecessary problem in your locker room. And I'm not saying that Terry shows up and starts, being an obnoxious mess in the locker room. I don't think he's that type of guy. But when you've got a guy who's unhappy,
you can feel it.
Yeah, right. And one thing goes wrong. One thing goes wrong, and that's all it takes is like one bad loss.
Right.
One game early in the season where the passing offense is just bad, or Terry drops a ball and somebody chirps at him in the locker room. Hey man, that's why you weren't at training camp. That's why we lost this game, is because you weren't at training camp. That's all it takes. Anyone who's been in a locker room after a game knows that people will take some of the craziest shots after a loss. Like we'll say the most unhinged shit that will get somebody completely worked up. Those comments will come. So it is going to start to bubble up worse than it is right now in a way that us on the outside, we don't have access to that.
Right.
We just don't.
Washington, just do the right thing. Send him to Atlanta for Ray McLeod, and then everyone's happy. All right, just do the right thing.
Would everyone be happy?
I think everybody's happy. Ray had a good year last year. I think that everyone could win there.
Do you like Ray McLeod? Do you think he's a good receiver?
I like Ray McLeod. I didn't necessarily like how much he was being
targeted. What about
targeted.
Darnell Mooney?
Love Darnell Mooney.
So maybe it would be better to do Darnell Mooney instead of Ray.
Well, I'm not throwing out Darnell on the first volley here.
I don't think anyone wants Ray McLeod.
I think they should. Ray had a good year. Wow, this isn't about Ray.
How many yards did Ray McLeod have last year?
He had a lot of goddamn targets, though. He was like Kirk Cousins' safety net. Ray McLeod was his safety net. Unreal. He's tossing him jump balls, contested catches for Ray McLeod.
He had 686 yards. It's actually not terrible. God, he has bounced around.
Take a stop at DC, pal. We'll take Terry off your hands. Don't worry about it.
28 years old. How did Darnell Mooney do?
This Mooney had 1,000. It was a tandem to have 1,000, I believe. Or maybe they're the first is 900, whatever they had.
You're wrong. He had 992.
Oh, God damn it.
He also sucks.
Hey, who? Darnell Mooney?
Yeah.
Come on, he did good last
He's
year.
so overrated.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he is not.
For that big contract they give him, he's not worth that much
I'm sure
money.
it's a big contract. And for him to be coming off of an awful Bears team and then just get picked up, it wasn't like it was, here's wide receiver 2, Darnell Mooney. It was just Darnell Mooney's on the team. We'll see what happens. And then he ended up being a pretty good wide receiver 2. That Darnell Mooney slander on a Sunday on the Lord's Day?
Yeah, on the Lord's Day.
I don't know if I believe in that.
Overrated.
I'm not co-signing that.
Well, I'm calling him overrated. We need to figure out, Sean, who are the most underrated teams in the NFL? I want to pitch here. Who will be the biggest dark horses in the league? And I need to be perfectly clear before you come out here with a team that's like the Bears. They're not allowed in this conversation.
How are the Bears not allowed in this dark horse conversation?
I'm talking about we're looking for a team that nobody, and I mean nobody, has any belief or thought they will be competent, competitive, and capable at all. It's a great alliteration by me. No one, that was off the dome too.
I'm happy for you.
I'm looking for teams that no one has any belief in. And the two that I thought of as easy examples from last year. Denver Broncos. Everybody, every single offseason step that we got to, free agency, the draft, training camp, even the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah.
This team sucks. Bo Nix is a piece of garbage. Sean Payton, what is he doing?
They're
He's
yelling
going to
at
get
each other on the
fired.
sidelines, all that.
Yeah, they can't. We even talked about it. Like, they can't get this is already, it's done. It's done. He's going to get, and they got to the playoffs. And they're still being doubted, by the way, because I was looking around to kind of see what some of these rankings, preseason power rankings were. Yahoo Sports had them at 28th, which is nuts to me. The Broncos at 28th.
From last year?
No.
Or this year?
This year. Going into this year, they had the Broncos at 28th after the offseason they had, after the great end of the season.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, I forget which writer it was, but it wasn't one of their big name writers, but I was like, are we really going to do this again? Are we going to do this again? I know that some people think that Bo Nix's decision making and the way that he played was kind of masked and aided by a couple of good bounces.
The number one defense for 5 straight weeks last year.
What are we doing?
Who put that list together?
The other example is the Washington Commanders. Nobody thought that the Washington Commanders, with that dilapidated old man roster,
I'll give you this one,
was going to do anything. Both of those teams. Those are the teams that I'm talking about. We can't use the Chicago Bears. Was that one of your teams?
Yeah, the Chicago Bears are definitely
they're not a dark horse,
but they're in a absolute gauntlet of a division.
Okay,
and that I don't think people are projecting them to be a playoff team this year.
but we've how many segments have we done where we've talked about Caleb Williams having a big year, Ben Johnson being a big part of their success?
Starting to get swayed a little, Joe. I'm starting to get swayed a little. You know why? Because Caleb Williams has been mums this offseason.
But here's my whole thing. It's too easy to make the case. If it takes a couple of sentences to be like, hey, this team will be a dark horse, we're done. Ow. Did that hurt? This sharp ass table. They're done. I'm gonna here.
Did you just over there? Are you breaking your witch fingers? Your spindly witch fingers on the hardwood? I'm
gonna give you. Here's a better my first example. I looked at teams and I was looking for teams that had the oldest rosters in the NFL. And I was trying to find this cross section of teams that were bad last year that also have some young pieces that can provide excitement. So the first team that I thought of, the 22nd 22nd youngest team in the NFL, average age of 26 years old. The Carolina Panthers, I think truly fits the description of a dark horse. Let me elaborate.
Okay.
We saw Bryce Young start to get better towards the end of last year.
Agreed.
Okay, he's still not fully there yet, but Canales, him, that relationship, there just feels like there's a lot more confidence behind him. Xavier Legette, starting to show some flashes. You add another big body guy who we're waiting to see what happens in Tet McMillan. Okay. You have an underrated offensive line, Ika Mekwonu, who doesn't get enough hype. He's a very good, reliable O-lineman. Robert Hunt's a really good guard that they have. And on top of this, their defense quietly got a lot better over the offseason. I'm a very big Derek Brown fan, and I really loved how aggressive they were about double dipping at edge when they did not have a good edge unit. They drafted Nick Scourton, and then shortly after, they drafted Princely Mamielon. I think that their secondary and their linebacker unit is pretty solid, especially their secondary, and JC Horn is fantastic. I think with the age that they have at depth spots, less in key important starter roles, and all these young guys finally hitting their stride in year 2, year 3, is where they take the NFC South and they win it in a division that is always up for grabs.
It's messy. The strongest beam that you have supporting this house of cards that you've built for the Carolina Panthers is Bryce Young's late season development last year, where he did take massive strides compared to the first 5 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever he ran before he got benched. That was tangible. I saw it. I witnessed a change in confidence. I witnessed a change in decision-making in the pocket, how quickly he got the ball out, and comfortability. And if you have a 1-1 quarterback at one point that shows me a string of weeks where it looks like it's come together, I'll buy in. This is a tough sell, Joe. I think that the Panthers could be on the rise, but I don't believe in the defense. I don't believe in Tet McMillan. I think that he is distracted and focused on his YouTube channel, which is not rookie. That's not rookie stuff to me. Rookie stuff is, let me break in, get 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, then I start my YouTube channel. Then I'm Tyreek Hill, and then I can hire filmers to have me do backflips in Miami all offseason, and we're doing that. Leggett was decent last year. I expected more from him.
You're just going to say some slanderous thing because he was taking those pictures with Glorilla, and you love Glorilla, and
he was in the video. I'm a Xavier Leggett fan. Like, he's big, strong, fast, has the hands. He needs to take a huge step forward. It's a tough sell for the Panthers, and I'm not going to totally knock it because I like their quarterback, but that's a real tough sell. My first, if I can't use the Chicago Bears, then I'll go with the New England Patriots, or a dark horse team for me.
Allow this one.
Thanks for allowing it.
I like
Justice DeLeone.
Sorry. I like this one, and I didn't want to take this one because I was hoping that you would bring it up.
It's a team on the rise. I really enjoy what they did with the offensive line this year, which is shocking. And all of you Patriots homers that have cried your eyes out about the offensive line for years and how bad it is and all this, you got a good one this year. Will Campbell's a dude. He's going to be solid from day one. Cole Strange, move him to guard. Just play guard, Cole Strange. He can do that. Garrett Bradbury at center, he's strong. Morgan Moses at right tackle, yeah, he's going to roll around on the field a little bit in the game, look real hurt, but he's still a solid vet. Drake May, year 2, impact season in a weaker division is so important for him. He can roll over the Jets twice. The Jets are going to be tougher, and I'm not going to disrespect the Jets after we gave them some credit last week. But they can beat them twice. They can beat the Dolphins twice. They can push Buffalo this year. Last year, years past, you just knew Buffalo was going to get over on them and just crush. But this Patriots team, they've got big pieces on the defense also. Christian Gonzalez is like one of the most unheralded corners in the league. All he does is lock down and make tackles. He's fantastic. And now their new leader, Mike Vrabel, is going to take all of these hardo defensive classic New England Patriots pieces and turn them into a living, breathing, dominant, suffocating machine. And I really think that they're going to cause a lot of headaches. And they could sneak in. They could sneak in if there are teams out west in the AFC that underperform. Chargers, definitely.
Well, so this Patriots team kind of gives me vibes of the Chargers last year. And it kind of makes me think of like Vrabel's very similar to Dan Quinn in a way, where he's going to rally the troops no matter what bodies he has. I think that this defense has some players. You mentioned Gonzalez, and
they brought in Harold Landry. Yeah, that's a Vrabel guy. Give him Vrabel guys.
And they brought in Spillane as well. I don't know if any of those guys are going to play at a premier level, but you just need your defense to play cohesively. If there is a defense that randomly plays way better than they're supposed to, and it probably is only capable of doing it for one season until they need to really be aggressive in free agency and the draft of like really shaping that thing out. But that unit, I think, led by the football guy of all football guys in Mike Vrabel, to get the troops aligned and focused and just downhill to steal games and all that good stuff. Vrabel's the type of coach to get that out of this roster. The biggest contingency, though, that does like scare me, the receiver room and the O-line. Man, like I think that Will Campbell's going to boost everything. I think that you're going to get good production, better production out of Kyle Williams can be better. I'm holding out hope for Jalen Polk. Like I think that everybody always bails on these rookie receivers for no reason. It's so unfair to these guys. It's such a nuanced, complicated position to be so good and productive the minute that you step in the NFL. But if that stuff flounders and is like only marginally better from last year, they're just going to be like a team that's hovering around 500, that's just winning a lot of low scoring games and then dropping games by like 3.
That's what the Titans did when they were making their big runs to the 1 seed in the AFC. They were winning gritty ass games that came down to the fourth quarter, and it was just about running the rock with Derrick Henry. They do not, Ramondre Stevenson is not Derrick Henry, but they might have Cooper Kupp 2.0 on this team. And Efton Chisholm III. Come on, give me a little bit.
Dude,
give me a little Efton.
If Efton Chisholm ends up being good, I'm going to be so
There were good reports.
happy.
Good reports from his minicamp. People are saying, this guy looks good.
I mean, we've been trying to tell you guys about Efton Chisholm. I got to go with my other team, a team that we've talked highly of this offseason, another team that's in the AFC East. The New York Jets, to me, have dark horse, but boom or bust potential. They're either going to be this 10-7 team that makes the playoffs and kind of, really disproves everyone's expectations. Maybe they lose their playoff game, or they're going to be a 3-win football team and they'll be picking really early and they'll be drafting their next quarterback. I look at this defense as my main focus. Aaron Glenn, awesome defensive coordinator, another just like guy's guy, football mind, just a total dude who knows how to get everybody locked and loaded. I love seeing clips of him on the Lions sideline. I think everyone, hypes up Dan Campbell. I think that Aaron Glenn deserves a little bit more love for how much of a brilliant just rallier of men that he is.
Yeah.
And I think that this secondary has such tremendous talent on it, like the one that he worked with the Lions, former DB with the Jets. He's going to unlock Sauce, Andre Sisco, Tony Adams, Michael Carter II. I think that they're going to be, and Azariah Thomas too, who they drafted. I was a huge freaking fan of, the Florida State corner. There is so much to pull from that group, not to mention this damn D-line. We forget that Will McDonald was one of the top sack getters last year, and Quinn Williams is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL, and Jermaine Johnson's a former first-rounder who doesn't need to be the most productive, but just needs to go out there and kick some ass. If we can get this O-line to pave freaking lanes for what could be the best and most unique rushing attack in the NFL, and if they just, we've said this 100 times over, just let Justin Fields be an athlete.
Commit to it. Commit.
They should do what before Lamar Jackson like really became the passer that he is now. He's a fantastic passer. Like year 2, year 3, when he was like really gashing teams, when he was on those MVP runs, he was running the ball a lot. Yeah. That's what we need. And I think that if they can tap into that, it's not going to win the MVP. This offense could surprise some people. And again, get to 10-7.
These coaches are such cowards, though, whenever there's a possibility of the read option coming back and that getting solved, or they think that they're always handcuffed and they couldn't just turn to regular style offense. But if you actually polished up a real deal read option, run intense game plan with this New York Jets team that had options to Garrett Wilson on the outside a couple times a drive, you're looking at something dynamic, different, and that could actually throw a wrench into other teams' game plans, and eventually you can get back to the boring stuff. But committing to that initially is so important for the Jets. That's the only way, right? Are we looking at any other ways that the Jets really do it?
Bro, right, and I got 2 added points really quickly. One, I would run all the concepts that Andy Kotelnicki was running with Jalen Daniels at Kansas. I'd be running shit. I'd be like what you just said with Garrett Wilson. I'd be running read option. It's turning basically a triple option with an RPO where you're reading what's in front of you, and then as you're starting to, Justin Fields is running the ball to the outside off tackle. If he sees Garrett Wilson open, he's got that option there too. The other thing, do you know who's currently listed as their third quarterback? I can't believe that you haven't latched onto this.
Third quarterback. Oh, is it Jordan Travis still? No, he retired forever, right?
No.
Oh,
Come on. You're such a fake fan. You're such a fake fan of this man.
who's their third quarterback? It wouldn't dare be.
You throat this man any chance that you get and use him as a false flag for your bad takes. And you're telling me right now you don't even know what team he's on?
They didn't sign the Messiah, did he?
He's on the team.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? Justin Fields, good luck. Because you hold that job as well as you can because that boy's coming. And that
Talking
boy,
about Adrian Martinez.
oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even know. I turned off notifications for Adrian Martinez. I was getting too many daily.
Oh, he was posting too much?
No, they were just people, the keyword notifications for it.
Why did you have that?
I just had it. I had to stay privy.
Moron.
That's when I was in my studying phase. Happy for that guy. Oh, yeah. Jets are going to be good. Holy shit.
All right, who's your last team?
Oh, my last team. God. You know what? Screw you. I'm going with the Bears. And I'm going with the Bears.
Boo!
I'm going with the Bears.
I'm just not going to respond to this one. Go ahead.
Because the Bears are the projected fourth. They're projected to come in last in the NFC North. No. You would take the Packers, Vikings, and Detroit over them. And this dark horse Bears team could pass the Vikings this year. They could get in as the third from the NFC North. They got to get past one team to get in. That's how we work it. That comes from an improved team. Caleb Williams having a year under his belt compared to, I'm not going to be insultive here, but a guy that has not played in the league yet in J.J. McCarthy. Not it wasn't a real word, by the way. If we're doing a quick fact check.
Insult.
Yeah.
You could have just used that.
He's got a leg up in experience. While the Vikings have a better team than the Bears do overall, the Bears have a guy that can do it, that can produce magic, that can compete. I genuinely think the Bears could go to the wire in every game with the Packers this year. They could be in it in the fourth quarter, dueling. And right now, I'd rather have Caleb Williams dueling against Jordan Love than J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. I just would rather have that option going. They got a hard-ass schedule. They're going to be really frustrating at times, but I'm predicting a massive step up for this team that has been brutal to watch. They've been awful and brutal and slow and disjointed, but Ben Johnson has done a great job of instilling confidence in even the biggest skeptics of myself.
I will only allow this with this singular stipulation. A lot of people are projecting that they are a playoff team this year. A lot of people. As like the team that didn't, as one of the teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that gets in the playoffs. So that, you're recycling a take. I will allow for you to claim them as a dark horse if you're willing to commit to them to winning the NFC North.
No, I would never do that.
All right.
I would never say
right.
that they would win the NFC North over the Lions. It's almost a trick question.
Mistake. It's not a trick question.
Because they're not going to have a better record
But that
than the
would
Lions.
be, but that dark horse is outperforming, like greatly outperforming expectations, like surprising everybody. That would be a surprise to me. I see Bears getting to the playoffs, another like 10-17. If they won the NFC North and they went like 12-5, that to me I would declare as a dark horse season. We're kind of liberal with the
but if
definition.
If I were to choose say I went with the Cowboys this year because they were wretched last year, would that mean I have to say that they came in first in the NFC East?
Yeah, because I wouldn't even allow for the Cowboys because like.
But I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I'm not penciling in the Bears for the playoffs this year, but dark horse, they could do it. They got a gauntlet.
The problem with the Cowboys is that there's only been a couple of times in our lifetime where their team has been so bad that they were just out of the mix at the start of the season.
Dude,
they're always in the mix.
No, we've watched a lot of Cooper Rush and Ben DiNucci and bad Cowboys teams.
But that wasn't stuff that
all season, many seasons.
That wasn't anything that was coming into the year though. That was season kind of started slow and then Romo got hurt, Dak got hurt, someone got hurt that created those situations where we were watching because the reason why that would happen is they have awful backup quarterback situations, yada, 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 all that crap. Like that's what led to that. It wasn't coming into the year that, oh man, this is a bottom tier roster. And then out of nowhere, they boom.
I thought they were bad last year anyways. I mean, they had an awful draft last year. I mean, shoot, you want to get a real dark horse with it, we can go with the Giants. They're a team full of great backup quarterbacks, so that's all you need apparently.
Well, here's the thing. I actually was kind of grappling with this. They actually have.
They got a good defense. They got a really good defense this year.
They have. Damn it,
Problem is, they're going to get stomped. They're just going to get rolled over. The Giants would be so much fun to pitch as a dark horse if they didn't have Philly and Washington in division, which is an auto 4 losses for them. Like they're not coming close to Philly, and they're not even touching Washington. Like all those games could be like 37-7.
So here's what's like really shocking. Last year they had one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. They have the 27th youngest roster in the league. The teams that are in striking distance of them, the Texans, the 49ers, the Falcons, the Steelers, and then the Commanders have the oldest roster in the NFL. So it's really not like we could make the case for the Giants that if they suddenly, and I would define them truly as a dark horse because I think everyone thinks
It'd be a miracle.
Yeah, like this is going to fall apart before it even gets started. There's a chance that defense is so good and Abdul Carter ends up being so good that they're just like nut crunching their way through every single game.
It's
and
a
they're
gross
winning.
description, but gotcha.
It's going to be gross. It's going to be real
What
gross.
if the kid's the truth? What if that kid's the truth?
Who?
Dart. What if he ends up being the truth?
That
That would be dark horse. That would classify.
I don't think anyone's ever done this before. I will renounce my fandom. If he ends up being like the truth, I will no longer be a Giants fan. Like that's
how is that possible?
I know, but I'm saying this is like that is how committed to proving that I don't think that he will ever be the future of this franchise. That he's just another Daniel Jones doofus. That if he ends up being a multi-year starter for more than 5 years, I will get because everyone always does the if this happens, I'll eat dog poop, all that crap. I will give up being a Giants fan because I was so wrong that I don't deserve to be a fan of that team.
While I think that your sentiment is pure and you have honesty in your heart, I cannot take you seriously because you have already walked back one of these before. So it holds
When
no
have
weight.
when have I walked back?
Well, the Knicks stuff. When you abandoned the Knicks and then you went back to them.
That was for a very unique,
This seems unique as well.
capable.
I'm just saying you walked one back before. I don't know if I'm giving you another denouncement.
That wasn't really a denouncement. That was just I give up.
What,
I was
the
sick
Knicks?
of Dolan. Yeah, I was sick of Dolan. And Dolan took his hands off for a little bit, and then they started getting good, and then now he's back in, and he's sticking his fingers in every little hole that he can find.
Get all the Dolan fingers in there. I love watching him toss basketballs to kids on the street. I wish he did do that every game. You'll make a fan out of me.
All right, let's get to the
James Dolan rules.
No, he doesn't. Fuck you. Hackbag 201-834-4308. This is the Hackbag.
The mail never stops.
This is the Hack Bag. Hit us on Twitter for questions or call at 201-834-4308.
I forgot. I just completely forgot I sent out a tweet for trashing Desmond Ridder today. I just got a one like. I don't care, but I forgot I sent that out about him getting picked up by the Bengals.
All right,
awful.
What do we got?
All right, yeah, let's get to a little question about some accents here. Does that work for you?
Oh no.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
All right, I got a good question for you. No, it's not football related, so go suck it.
Rack?
Okay, hot accents. What do you rank high? What do you rank low?
Oh, this is not going to go well.
I got to go myself with an Australian accent. A couple weeks ago, I called a pizza place.
This is
south
Rack.
of town.
I'm telling you, this
Lady
is him.
picked up. She's got this hot Australian accent. I'm like, God damn.
In Idaho?
That
Someone from
must be
Australia?
really awesome stuff. I'm going to get carry out, right? And so I show up at the pizza place.
Big
I'm
girl.
looking around.
It's a dude.
I'm looking for the hot Australian supermodel that's making pizzas and shit. And I walk up to the counter and I was like, I got a pizza to go. And she goes, yeah. And she answers in her Australian accent. I can't do it.
You tried to do an impression.
She was this short, fat, molly-faced dwarf lady and it just ruined it, man. It just shrunk in my pants. It was just bad. So maybe you tell me what accents you like the most. Maybe you tell me a story where accent was golden. Maybe tell me one that was awful like that. But looking forward to it, boys.
Okay, good question. Okay, so here, problem number one. We caught you were going to do the impression, and then you realized you couldn't do the impression,
Tough.
so you bailed. Okay, I get it. Two, That's obviously Rack. The more calls that he gets in here, it's obviously Rack.
I'm not putting his name on that job.
It's obviously him. It's the same sense of humor. It's the same type of comments. It's the same type.
I think we're kind of the bug. We're
noticing the parallels.
We're the nice bright blue light attracting all the mentally ill bugs to come in and sit and listen to this nonsense. Additionally, rotted up in a pizza spot, that's a bad move. Yeah. You just should never have a boner while you're getting pizza.
Well, okay, so that was my big problem with this. You said he was fully anticipating walking in there to see some Australian supermodel standing there handing him his pizza. You're in Idaho.
When's that ever happened ever?
And why would an attractive Australian woman find me any time that you've picked up a pizza at a spot and the woman behind the counter has been just like a smoke?
Don't happen. It
doesn't.
Might happen up here. Maybe.
It does more over here because you usually get the,
that's almost at a quantity of pizza spots up here, though, because it's 90% gutted,
right.
Just big guts handed you the pizza.
Yeah, well, right. And usually when it happens, it's usually like, the 22-year-old daughter of the owner that's really hot, that's working there kind of situation. I would say Italian accent. That gets me every single time. Like if you're talking to a girl that's like from, or like a Spanish one, like if she's from Spain.
Spanish is the one. Spanish is the one. The Australian accent does nothing for me. Because unfortunately, there's too many funny moments with the Australian accent that it becomes less sexy. Where the more that you hear,
I just can't imagine having sex and you're getting that.
I'm not like I just can't. Like I'm not into the guys sound so ridiculous that it almost hurts the girls. Whereas, also, by the way, you dummies, the Australian accent isn't hot. It's all the beach babes from Australia that are sun-kissed.
Right.
And that have,
right.
They don't have, they're not eating American bread. They look good. You're getting swept away by it. There's a lot of bad accents. U.S. has we dominate in them. Every California accent, rough. That's tough. Any the Valley Girl accent, bad. The Boston accent's hideous.
Yeah, bad.
New York accent's not great either.
Good.
I'm not going to stand by it.
Not good.
Baltimore's got some tough accents. Talking to girls in Baltimore, that's rough.
Wait, I already gone on a tangent here. So I went to this morning. I've been trying to get out of this damn apartment to like go do work because whenever I sit here, I either end up starting playing video games or also I'm just like going nuts how much time I spend in here. So this morning I woke up at like 9. I walked down to there's this one new coffee spot that just opened up that's got like a lot of big seating area. So I went there, got a coffee, sat down, sitting there doing the notes for the show today, doing notes for R&J, doing a little film stuff. And there's these 3 girls that are sitting on the opposite side, and they're talking loud as shit. Like I could hear far into the coffee shop, could hear their whole conversation. So I was naturally listening intently.
Mm-hmm.
One girl was detailing the date that she had the night before, and they're asking a lot of questions, talking about how sweet he was, and just like they were responding to the one girl saying like, "Oh, that's so like those are green flags," like saying all these good things about him, and then tried to be quiet, but it was still so like just punched through all the quietness. Was like, "Well, how are things sexually?" That was what was asked. And this poor dude, man, I feel so bad for this dude because the girl who went on the date just pauses and goes like, well, I can't, all I can think of is like, oh my God,
Something happened.
Well, no, not that. Being on display like that, nobody knows who you are, but somebody's just having that conversation about you in public and doing the whole, well, and then they all started, the other 2 started freaking out, doing the whole like, oh no, well, it'll get better, like that kind of shit. I couldn't even imagine. My skin just crawls at the thought of a group of girls having a loud conversation in public about the sex that you had with them the night before.
What's the accent part of it? Did they have accents?
They were loud New York. Girls.
Gotcha.
So that was what immediately it made me think of that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you have to at least assume that every text that you send the girl is going to some horrid group chat with 50 members that are just dicing you up.
They ain't getting read out loud in public.
It will. Next time they're in public together, they talk about just as much vile stuff as we do. And even more descriptive. Worse. Yeah. Even more cruel than we could be. I think the Southern accent from a girl is nice. That's not bad for me. If there's a Southern Belle accent, that's good. Different than Florida. You're not from the South. Anybody from Florida comes up to, hey, how you doing? Get out of my face.
It's like a 50-year-old woman. That's not a.
Oh no, there's a lot of. When's the last time you were down there talking to? I'm telling you, a lot of them have that gravelly
20-year-olds?
voice. Yeah, real bad.
Well, that's a good question.
Because they start smoking at 12 down there. You know,
good
Paul
question,
Mall,
though.
Slims, that long burns.
Real expert.
You know nothing about that.
I
But
don't.
they-
I don't.
These
I
disgusting
don't know
Southern
anything.
smoking tendencies, dude. It's rough.
All right. What other questions do we have?
Well, that's what we got. We got a question
that
about
was it.
hot accents. If we've had any bad accent experiences,
I can't think of any bad ones.
I like talking to people in the Midwest. I just don't think that if it got down to nut cutting time and if you were in a bedroom situation and oh yeah, you betcha, take it out. Like that would freak me out a little bit. Like that would
you betcha. That was great.
Yeah, that would freak me out a little bit. Having encourage.
Oh yeah.
God. Yeah. I've dealt mostly with people that just speak with the same mid-Atlantic, mid-Eastern Atlantic dialect and tone that I.
So you're attracted to people that sound like they're from Virginia and DC.
We got no accents. There's no accent of Virginia. There's no accent of DC.
I guess that's kind of true. I couldn't even really identify them.
Anywhere south of Baltimore, north of Richmond, there's no accent. That's kind of what like you would expect people on the news to sound like myself. You kind of sound like that too, but I mean, you
I
made
sound
it
like
out the
what?
mud. You don't sound.
I
like,
didn't cut. Shut up.
You don't sound like a Jersey dirtbag.
Well, because I try. I mean, I feel like any good host should not sound like they're from where they're from. They should just talk. What?
I don't know.
What is that?
You do a show with a guy that sounds like they're from where they're from.
Well, I think that's what makes Rufino and Joe so unique. Is that you know where Blake is from.
Ron, the last
people
thing
think
you
I'm
want to
from
do
the
is
Midwest.
clip that.
People think I'm from the Midwest when they listen to
That's
the show.
your fair
They're like, oh,
skin.
Big Ten Joe, here we go. And it's like, I'm not. I have no affiliation.
If you caught a bit of a tan, you'd be Jersey Joe. But you just still look Midwest, and it's mid-July. I'm freaking sun blessed over here.
That's definitely
tan.
not true. 201-834-4308. Call in with your questions. We're going to be back on Tuesday. We'll talk to you folks later. Enjoy the rest of your week.